Okay, so picture this, you walk into a room in your house, and there's water everywhere. The first feeling that hits you, it's pure panic, right? But what if you could just push that panic aside and know exactly what to do? Well, that's what we're going to do in this explainer. We're going to build a clear, step-by-step guide to turn that crisis into a manageable plan. All right, so here's our game plan. First, we'll dig into the hidden dangers of water damage, the stuff you can't see. Then, we'll learn how to decode the disaster, because not all water is the same. After that, we'll go through the professional restoration playbook, step by step. And finally, we'll talk about how to handle the really tough part, the insurance and the recovery. So let's jump right into section 1, and we're going to start with one of the biggest misconceptions out there. A lot of people think that once you've stopped the leak or cleaned up the puddle, the problem is over. But honestly, the real battle, the one against the damage you can't even see, has just begun. I want you to really think about this for a second. A pipe just burst. The washing machine is overflowing. Water is spreading fast. What is the absolute number one very first thing you do? Seriously, think about it. Because in this situation, every single minute, heck, every second, is absolutely crucial. 48 hours, that number is so important. That's the window. In just 2 days, mold can start to grow and colonize on things like your drywall, your carpet, your insulation. So you see, you're not just in a race against water. You're in a race against a biological clock that is ticking, fast. So where does all this water even come from? Well, it's usually not some big mystery. It's often the stuff we see every day that decides to fail on us. Pipes that burst from cold weather, washing machines that overflow, old sewer lines that just give up. And of course, you can't forget Mother Nature, with heavy storms and gutters that get clogged and send water right where you don't want it. And this is where the really sneaky damage happens. It's because of something called capillary action. Basically, materials like drywall act like a candle wick. They literally suck water up, defying gravity. So you might only see a puddle on the floor, but that moisture could already be 2 or 3 feet up inside your wall, completely hidden from sight. Okay, let's move on. Now we need to see how the pros diagnose the problem. Before they even think about drying anything, they have to answer one critical question. What kind of water are we actually dealing with? Because believe me, not all water is created equal. It all boils down to this 3-category system. Category 1 is clean water, from a broken water supply line. It's not great, but it's sanitary. Then you have Category 2, or gray water. Think dishwasher overflow. It's got some contaminants, maybe some soaps or food bits, but the one you really have to worry about is Category 3, black water. This stuff is grossly contaminated and can be a serious health risk. See, the source of the water is what tells you the category, and the category dictates the entire plan of attack. A leak from a water heater is one thing. A backed up sewer line is a whole different ballgame. With Category 3 black water, any porous material it touches, drywall, carpet, insulation, can't just be dried. It has to be cut out, bagged up, and safely thrown away. No exceptions. All right, so we've diagnosed the problem. Now let's get into the solution. And I want to be clear. Professional water restoration isn't just a frantic cleanup with mops and buckets. It's a highly methodical, scientific process designed to get your home back to the way it was, safely and completely. And every professional restoration follows this exact 3-phase playbook, always in this order. No skipping steps. First, get all the standing water out and do it fast. Second, use science to dry the actual structure, the wood, the drywall, everything. And third, only when it's all proven to be dry, you can start the repairs and reconstruction. I think a lot of us picture a bunch of fans just blowing air around and hoping for the best. But honestly, that could not be further from the truth. The real professional approach is so much more precise. It's not just about fans, it's about science. And that science has a name, psychrometry. Now, it sounds really complicated, right? But the idea is actually pretty brilliant. It's the study of how air, heat, and moisture all work together. The pros use these principles to create the perfect drying conditions inside your home, manipulating the environment to literally force moisture out of the walls and floors as efficiently as possible. And to do all this, they have this amazing toolkit. They use thermal cameras that can literally see hidden moisture behind walls. They have special moisture meters to measure exactly how wet a piece of wood is deep inside. And then they bring in the big guns, commercial dehumidifiers and high-velocity air movers that work together to create a powerful drying vortex. So how do you actually know when the job is done? It's not about how things feel. It's all about data. Technicians take moisture readings every single day until the key building materials, like the wooden studs in your walls, hit their target dry number.
which is typically around 15% moisture content. Only when the data says it's dry does the equipment finally get removed.
Okay, let's move into our final section. And honestly, this can be the most stressful part for a homeowner, dealing with the aftermath. This is all about the paperwork, the insurance claim, and getting your life back to normal.
When it comes to your insurance claim, I want you to remember one thing. The person with the best documentation always has the upper hand. You can't just say the floor was wet. You need to provide undeniable, detailed proof of exactly what was damaged and how it was fixed. And this is what professional documentation looks like. It's not just a couple of photos on your phone. It's a whole evidence package. It includes detailed maps showing exactly where the moisture was found, daily logs of the drying equipment, precise measurements and readings, and a line-by-line scope of every single thing that was affected. This gives your insurance adjuster everything they need to approve the claim without a fight. Now, this is something you absolutely need to understand about your own policy. Typically, homeowners insurance covers damage that is sudden and accidental. Think, boom, a pipe bursts. What it usually does not cover is gradual damage, like from a tiny leak you ignored for months. And it almost never covers damage from flooding, which is technically rising surface water, like from a river overflowing. For that, you need a totally separate flood insurance policy.
If you take just one single thing away from this whole explainer, please let it be this. A fast professional response isn't really about the water you can see. It's about preventing the absolute nightmare of secondary damage. That's the hidden mold, the rotting wood, the stuff that can destroy your home's value and your health long after the water is gone.
So I'll leave you with this challenge. Now that you know the process, the risks, the science behind it all, what is one simple, preventative thing you could do in your own home this week to lower your risk? Maybe it's checking the hoses on your washing machine, or finally cleaning out those gutters. A few minutes of prevention today could literally save you from a world of headache and restoration tomorrow.